अपादमौलिपर्यन्तां गुरूणाम् आकृतिं स्मरेत् येन विघ्नप्रणश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ति च मनोरथः लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितरानपेक्षम् अङ्घ्रिद्वयं निगमशाकिशिखाप्रवालं हैरम्बमम्बुरुहडम्बरचौर्यनिग्रहं विघ्नाद्रिभेदशतधारधुरन्धरन्नः सर्वेषां स्वागतं. This is the Saṃskāra session for the 41st shloka. So in the previous shlokas for 41 onwards, we are approaching an important aspect, kriya related aspect to the Upadesha given by Sri Rama, that is with respect to realizing Brahman. So there he, as we see in the 41, we start off with the process of internalizing a particular type of nature within ourselves. So that process is divided in our ancient knowledge system as Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. The internalizing, the introspection part is Nididhyasana. That we will eventually see, and this is a very huge concept considering that it requires more understanding of it, and there are different methods of practical application also. So that we will see in the few next shlokas as we go through the in the sessions we will see as we go through the shlokas. So this concept, this is a brief introduction to this concept, and this has been agreed by all the philosophies. While we are talking only of Advaita at this point of time, this process of Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana has been agreed by Advaita also, Visisht Advaita also, even um, Advaita also, because the mention is directly from the Vedas. So that what is this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana? So now when we come to the end of the Vedas, the Upanishads, then Upanishad, that is getting closer to that Atma Tattva, get over that. So any bodha that we get, after we achieve that particular nature of when we experience the Guru Kripa, when we experience the Atma Tattva, then we start understanding that there is something beyond the manifested forms. And here, that manifested forms, how do we reach beyond it? That is the most important. What is the practice of doing it? So obviously, in a more westernized connotation, we can say that, yeah, we have to meditate upon that. But it is not like that. There comes this process of Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Now, what is this? Shravana is listening to the Aptavachana. Aptavachana, here we are talking about none other than the Vedas. Vedas itself becomes the Aptavachana. Why we are talking about Vedas? Vedas is not any shloka with respect to a deity. I think it would be very wrong to say that they cater to one particular god or anything like that. No. It is with respect to manifestation of this whole existence. In fact, it is said that it is not even from Brahma. This existed long before Brahma also. In fact, Brahma created this world using the knowledge from the Vedas. That is what it is, what is said. Which means, on a more macro self, what we are trying to understand is there are different worlds, there are different existences. When the whole existence ends, the information from the existence is stored in different forms. Yes, we were talking about in previous sessions also. That information is in some form. It is in part, atomic form. It is in wave form, particle form. We don't know, but it is beyond the Indriya Gochara. That means we cannot understand it from this Indriyas, that those data. So from there, like for example, in Nasriya Sukta, when we talk about that state where it is na asat sat, there is no sat or asat. Long before that also, we're talking about Satkaryavada giving rise to this existence. Long before that also, there existed a state where the fundamental guidelines of that state also we cannot understand. Like, for example, we understand what is pressure, we understand what is heat, we understand all these different principles. There existed something that does not even abide by what we know. So there was no volume. So we don't understand what is no volume. Something that doesn't have volume. Even air has volume. Doesn't we cannot see it, but we agree that the air has volume. So there existed a state where there was no volume, and it was tinier than a micro. It was even smaller than an atom. Also, there existed a state like that. So to understand that state or to validate that state, it is just not possible. So therefore, the Vedas, when they say this, we have to believe that it is apaurushaya. It does not mean that it was not written by a purusha. It is just that the nature of the vidya, it is not possible for any a manifested form to authenticate it. And it is accepted in that shloka only we will get it. In the shloka itself, it is around 7 shlokas. But what we see is that the nature of this bodha is that when it explains the state of existence, the hymn is practically saying that it accepts that no person, not even the devatas that we have created, that can validate this state of existence or state before existence. So it is a state where there was no existence also, there wasn't any creation of existence also. So at that point, we are not even talking about space also, we are not talking about creation of time also, it was before that. There is no birth also, there is no death also. So when the universe was enveloped in this, or it existed in this state, the nature was that it is self-existent. That means it is sustaining itself. Then it led to expansion. That expansion led to creation of the universe. And that expansion at some point of time, it becomes so much that it starts to it becomes so huge, that expansion, the internal or the core, the garbha of this creation, it starts to lap up again. It starts to pull it back, and everything that expanded from it will start to get back inside it. This is the fundamental concept of Srishti, Sthiti, and Laya. It is self-existent. That is the reason Narayana, we are seeing it is, he is the matter. So this nature of the, whatever is the knowledge of the cosmos, knowledge of existence, knowledge of creation, this is from the Vedas itself. This we cannot understand as something that is catering to a puja or a deity or anything like that. So there are certain parts of the Vedas where once we listen to it, Shravana, once we have to listen to it, and not just listening once. We have to start repeating it. It is not rutting. That is a wrong word. It is repeated enunciation. When we go towards manana, manana is basically when we repeat it to an extent, we start thinking deeply. That process of reflection or contemplation begins on that shloka. So that shloka, we are not stopping at the nature. we saw that when we talk about Tattvamasi, that Tattvamasi, we start with the Padartha, then we start with the Vakyartha, then Bhavartha, then we start to see the process of understanding each word in its essence form, essential form, not in their manifested forms. So that whole process, the initiation is with respect to Manana. So Shravana, we have heard something and we are repeating it back. When we repeat it back, Manana starts. When we start thinking, when we are repeating it, I'm not just saying Om Bhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Suvaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapa, Om Satyam, Om Tatsaviturvare, Enyam Bhargo, O Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. I am just saying it. While I say it, while I internalize it, while I contemplate on the words, what is getting that Prachodayat? Where is that energy push coming from? I'm asking for that Prachodayat. Let it get initiated. What should get initiated? Where should it get initiated? Who am I inviting? Avahana of which deity is happening? A deity is happening. What are the realms that I'm trying to manifest this in? So there's a huge process that is involved in this. So here, Shravana is listening to the Aptavachana. Aptavachana here is only the Vedas, the Upanishads. You can call it as Prasthanatraya to a very large extent. That is the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and then we have the Brahma Sutras. So listening directly to these texts, that is the first step, Shravana. Manana. Manana, after listening to them, after studying them, then we start to look at each word. There are many Vyakarana texts which go like this, Vyakarana, Nyaya, all of them, they start arguing over a simple word. What does this mean exactly? Like, for example, Dhatvartha, meaning of the Dhatu, which is getting that, we know many people may or may not know this. The Kriya Pada, it has a Dhatu and then it gets a Pratyaya. That Pratyaya, based on the thing Pratyayas, it results into a verb, Kriya. Now, that the transformation, the resultant transformation of that dhatu to a kriya pada, is it because of the shakti of that pratyaya, or is that meaning already? The shakti means padartha, artha. Pachati iti pachaka. So when I'm taking pach dhatu, does the meaning that somebody is creating, that pachana kriya is happening, does it lie with that dhatu or is it with the pratyaya? Where is the shakti residing? Because of sayoga of pratyaya it is coming, but then if sayoga is resulting in the meaning, then we have to say that pratyaya carries more weightage. Then what is the point of dhatu? A root word. Because a root word is different for different kriyas. Nam dhatu is for different. What is the meaning of that? What is that trying to say? Pach dhatu, what is the meaning of that? The form of verbal conflict is changing due to use of different pratyayas. So who has the power to say that changing word? Like, for example, if I'm saying run, ran, running, all these things are different tenses. So adding that prefix or changing that, what is giving that transformative change, meaning transformation? So this particular discussion goes on in Vyakarana. So in the same way, Manana also a deep understanding of the words. Why specifically a particular word has been used. Like for example, asat. Why asat has been used? Like this. It goes on a very deeper level. They try to understand the words used. They try to understand the meanings used. Manana is trying to understand what the meaning is of whatever we have heard in Shravana of the Vedas or etc., but not just as a definitive form. That is not taking out a dictionary and saying, okay, this word means this thing, this word means something else. In Sanskritam, each word used in a different context means something. Like, for example, if I take prithak, prithak can be used as different, but it can also mean to end something and then start. Fragmentation. Prithakva, prathak. Like this, what happens due to usage of that particular word in a particular verse, in a particular manner, its meaning is also changing over there. So therefore, why this particular word has been used, why it something else cannot be used, that contemplation. Then sticking so much, while we are doing so much of contemplation upon the word, then thinking deeply about the bhavartha that we are trying to derive out of it. On that also we have to sit and we have to think about it. That step involves analyzing, questioning and internalizing that knowledge. Like, for example, when we talk about positive psychology, I'm saying positive. What is the meaning of positive? Something that makes me happy. Is it limited to that? No, it can be expanded to not being affected by a negative emotion also. So, how do I internalize it? At any point of time, while there is no external stimuli that is making me very warm or feel positive about something, I can still be positive. I can still be positive by not being affected by the negative things around me. That is the state of Ananda where there is no Advaya. That is what we are trying to reach. So, this Manana is that particular phase. So, these two are very important steps. We'll see Nidhyasana in the coming session. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः प्रतिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।